Now let's find the evidence. So the claim, the poem uses the imagery of fire to delve into the question of who might have created. So now we need to deal about this point. Letter 8 has no any information about imagery of fire. Burnt the fire of sign eyes does not make sense. Only mentioned the word fire. Look for letter B. In what furnace was they? And they here means just like your brain for all the English, you know. What anvil more about the imagery? What dread grasp? There its deadly terrors. Look, we have a lot of details about what the imagery of this fire. This means it could be strong. But wait, when the stars threw down their spears, they don't have any information about the imagery of fire. So letter C it is out of the content of the questions. And of course, letter D does not make sense for the target. So letter B stronger than A. Why we have more supporting details about that. That's it. Now with number 12. And number 12, we have a common trap. It's called which counter argument. Counter argument means the authors or writers use the opposite idea to their claim to make their claims clear to the reader. From now, we need to know what is a counter argument about her credibility. Let's redefine it.
B.
It can be letter B, but this is not the counter argument. Why didn't they check evidence for letter A? Find any evidence that she is not already minor? And this is means she is not minor, so it means just to know more about mining.
Mhm.
For example, I'm not a doctor, but I explain more about doctoring for the doctor job. Well, that is means it's an argument. You see, as you know, counter argument just like an attack against the writer's main argument. It's something opposite to what is the main claim. Feel it? So now we need evidence for letter A.
Mm.
Let's find. Let's find. She said here, she said, I know you have suffered. And at the same time, she mentioned something opposite. I was with you nearly 3 years in this state. So this means you lived with us only 3 years and you know everything about us? How? How you know everything? You only lived 3 years. This is called the counter argument, something opposite to the fact. How you said that I can't trust you or you are reliable or credible, and this means I don't have more details about you. You feel it? Again, he said, I went to jail, I went to the federal court, but I never took any backwater. So what does it mean? It means just like you don't know more about us. But that is means here, she is not qualified to speak for the minors because she is not a minor herself. She is not with them. Feel it? But we don't have any supporting details for letter B. So her involvement or her participation could harm the minor's cause, the target of the minors, because she had been in jail. So we don't have supporting for letter B. And of course, you would make C and D wrong because you're not supported. That's why. Feel it?
Yes.
And in the question, he mentioned about her credibility, people to believe her. So credibility, as now, it has the word correct. In Latin root, any word that has correct means believe. We talk about believe. So we can say credible, incredible, credulous, credibility, credit card. This means you believe something, you trust something. You feel it? So what is
Yes.
mentioned about her credibility, but mentioned opposite? That's why she is not qualified, or she didn't live with them a lot to know more about them. That's why. For number 13, the question first. He said to complete the example. Let's read it.
A.
You said it A, but no. But let me help you. We need example. Example for what? Example for what is explained before. So you need ideas to support this point only. What's that? Increasing this concentration delayed. It makes it takes more days. But increased. So we need substance to support this one. Look here for letter C. Was this is one of took 16 extra days, delayed or not? Delayed. So 16 days extra, more than it normal. It's normal days. Now let's find it. What is 19M? Here concentration. So we'll find here, find there. So extra or not. And average days to first flower. Average days to first fruit. So 0, 0, 0, 0, but here we have increased or not. Increased. Here we have increased or not. Increased. So it takes more or not. Yes. And it's related to the same one. The same previous one. Of course, it delayed. That's why. So letter C is the best. So what does it mean? If I ask you to complete something, you complete the style of writing. He said, for example, for what? An example means to support the main idea as it is. If this negative, you need negative example. If positive, we need positive example. And it's something related to the previous content. So he said concentration of NaCl. Any answer does not make sense for that, delete it. Here he said with concentration average, but here he said took 16 extra days. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's right. So letter C is the best answer. That's it. So we need supporting form. Remember again the word thus, cause and effect. So because of this action, what could happen? We can make a question for this spot, but the test maker didn't. That's it. Now let's go to the next. He said based on why did include personal interviews. Include personal interviews to support an idea. Where is it? Let's find it.
A.
So you would like to make it A, but I don't think so. Number one, because we have a common word for test maker, a conflict. It mentioned here that she's going to explain conflict. No. She aimed to provide perspective of the vegan diet as a means of combating the stereotypes. Combating means just like to fight against stereotypes. And they know stereotypes means common beliefs between people. So she wants to prove that the common conception about vegan diet is wrong. So she needs people to know more about that. So she did the research, or the research was conducted in two parts: literature review and interview study. So what should she add the result of the interview? To help people to understand something, not to explain conflict. So A is wrong. She did mention that she is going to solve or resolve standing debate. It's not mentioned here. But she wants them to understand more. If you did, as she mentioned, making the diet more relatable, understandable to those who are not vegan. Yes or no? But it's not the
Yes.
so the B is wrong. She decided that most of the current literature was biased. She didn't mention that. As I told you, the word biased or prejudice for the test-making word, not mentioned. But look for here, better understand the viewpoint about what? What people who opted chose to become vegan. So letter D is the best answer. That's why. See that? Yes. Now let's jump to the next question. First, quickly, what is like true about? So we need information already in the text.
D.
You want to make it letter D, and D is the best answer. That's great. Let's answer some easy questions for writing structure. You can try first.
C.
Letter C, correct. Let's jump.
C.
17, it's C, correct. Job.
A.
Then it must be letter C, but we need to know why. Number one, we have verbs. Find the subject. And as I told you, to find the subject, you must delete the prepositional phrases or any phrase. So this is phrase delete, phrase delete, phrase delete. See, phrase delete. So you will find the effect established. So effect is singular, so it must be singular. And sometimes you can follow the hacks if it's difficult. Plural, 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 three plural, wrong. Three singular, wrong. If it is difficult. But always remember to find the subject in the verb quickly, delete the phrases, delete the clauses, delete the non-essential, and check the rest of the sentence. You will find the transformative effect well established. Your subject must be noun, so it's not this. It's not adverb. It's not verb. So it must be effective. Effective subject, and here's the verb. Effective singular, so you need singular for agreement. That's all. Now,
A.
and it must be correct.
مغنى ذلك فرح. Is it B?
So it's letter B for the rest. That is correct. Remember, the expression in a nutshell means in a summary. For transition words, remember, in a nutshell, just like give you a summary for something. This means this is one, the summary for this is one, or just like to add details to support it in a nutshell. Okay. Let me help you for 21, and let's put together why B is correct. From the beginning, in a 22 paper, preposition phrase written by past participle phrase means which is written. So written by, gather up, and associate, just like calling the friends to help. This is, and then he put comma and then start the sentence. So the writer wants to start the sentence by phrases, phrase, comma, and then start the sentence. So we need a comma after introductory phrases. But wait, the researchers explore sentence or not. Yes, the complex mechanisms behind and then complete the sentence. Let's follow the rules. Is before calling a complete? Not, because it's only phrases. As you know, before calling it must be complete sentence. Whatever the sentence is, it can be simple, complex, or compound, or whatever. But before calling it's not sentence, it's fragment, because they are only phrases. So this is wrong. And you know, single dash means calling. It's the same. Before dash must be complete sentence. Okay, but before not complete, so C is wrong. Letter A, it's important. Why? Because sometimes we don't use comma after the introductory phrase if it is short phrase. But here we have two long phrases. Look, that means it's a compulsory comma to use it. So you need comma, so is wrong. So remember, introductory phrase means I use phrase like that. before I start my sentence. And then comma, and then start your sentence like that, subject verb complement. If this phrase, short phrase, and it does not affect the meaning of the sentence, we can delete the comma. But here it's two phrases and long, and it affects or confuse the reader. So we need comma to help the reader to understand or to avoid the confusion. So it's a compulsory comma. That is the trap, right? But if you are in the test, use it with comma. Don't worry about the exception. Use it with comma. That means you need comma in this part. That's it. So letter B is the best. Try 22.
D.
Oh, letter D the best. Now let's find wrong answers. Is before calling complete? Is this part a complete sentence? No. Here, calling, is this part a complete sentence? Because this is the beginning of the sentence. So wrong. Now we have comma here. Why? Because after the transition words at the beginning of the sentence, we need comma. And why do we have this comma? Introductory phrase before the sentence. And that is the sentence. But with comma or not, that means you need comma here. Here you don't have comma. Here you don't have comma. So both of them in a second wrong. So we have many ways to find what is wrong. And good target, 23.
D.
So letter D is the best answer. Now let's find something very important. That A and B the same meaning, both of them wrong. You remember for the synonym language? Okay, but so what's the difference between A and B and D? Remember, however, for contrast of ideas, you make contrast comparison between two things. But this is one for even though something happens, another opposite thing happens. Okay, but does not make sense here. And of course, it's not furthermore. Feel it? Is right.
Yes. A.
So you want to make it A. Let me help you. If you want to use however, means this sentence opposite to this sentence. Is that is? Or is this part opposite to this part? So we have to close this opposite. That means we need to use while. Because the contrast is not between this sentence and this sentence. That means however wrong. Because however transition words connects the previous idea, this one, following one, this one. But this does not make sense here. So A wrong. Nevertheless, just like however, but we need comma after if you wanted to use it conjunctive adverb at the beginning of the sentence. So C grammatically wrong. Therefore, we don't have a cause and effect relation between the previous idea and the following idea. The contrast here, while there are some administrative roles, most of all social workers deal directly with clients. How? You have a role. You should not deal directly with clients. Do you feel it? So that means here while for the two clauses. Again, while subordinated conjunction, you need two opposite clauses after it using with comma. This is support while again. Clause, complete clause, and then complete clause again. And I mean by C, complete sentence. Can be any sentence or a clause, because the clause already means simple sentence. That's why. So let's support the letter B. Catch it? Right. Remember something very important, because some YouTubers or some people say if you found these three answers the same meaning wrong. So however and nevertheless and while all of them express contrastive. So delete, so choose D. No. Sometimes we use grammatically incorrect answers like C. So C is wrong. Feel it? And nevertheless for action happens wrong. However, for contrastive ideas, for something happens. Now let's jump to the next. Have your time.
A.
Subsequently, no, because subsequently, as you know, for a time series for the sequence of action, subsequent, do we put actions in order? No. Do we have contrastive ideas between this idea and this idea? No, is wrong. Do we have cause and effect? No. Is this one reason for this one? No. But we have moreover. Where is the moreover here? That means this idea, it's another supporting evidence to something mentioned before. Yes. Let's know why. He said here, there is no longer term credible research confirming its efficacy. There is no strong evidence. The following says, The scientist says the diet is misguided. It means there is no strong evidence because wild grains were consumed well before the advent of farming. So this means this one supporting details to prove something before for no long-term credible. So here no long-term credible means misguided. That means we add details, not opposite. So letter C is the best. That's why. So subsequence, as you know, for order of actions. First, second, then finally this way. Or this action happened after this action in order of time. But here it does not make. Let's try the next. So if you answer it correct, you will go for fun.
B.
Letter B. I don't think so. Here we have verb, find the subject, find the object. Here he said the memorial was designed by to do what? For was designed by and what? To do what with employees of London and Northwestern who were killed.
A.
So that is to help you to memorize them. Yeah, the word idol, it's from the word idol. Do you know idol? Like hero. This means if you idealize something, it means you show honor, show respect. But this is one does not make show respect, but he said here who were called so to help them to remember. And already he mentioned here memorial, just like to help you for memory, to memorize the good old people. That's why he said here again, memorial again, and memorial again. So the best one for the context, letter A. Of course, C and D does not make sense. That's it. All right, so now let's keep the rest for your homework, but make sure to finish all of them. Plus, I'm going to send you another test now. So keep the rest of this test for your homework and expect a new one to answer it. So answer all of them, and when you have any problem, deal. That is great. And now, do you have any trouble at home?
No.
Stay safe, stay strong. Bye-bye, Mark.